new set of lungs.
Another part of anger is when you feel like your self or your identity is being, you have an idea of your identity or yourself. And now with an avoidant, my reaction would be to get really angry, right? Because now I'm being somebody who I'm not. And then the other person, depending on how intelligent they are, could manipulate that, because avoidance is manipulative too.
I think that people who have a preference for approach behavior feel like they always need to hold out hope and always keep a light on. Do you think possibly that in that dynamic, it's kind of the approach person's responsibility more than the avoidant to solve it? The options are that the avoidant person comes up and meets them energy-wise. Well, that it's less likely for them to do that than it is for the approach person having to face themselves, and they keep lashing out, so they keep being faced with their problems.
The goal really is to get out of that spiral, right? Out of that behavior trap.
Recognizing the spiral in the first place, I think, is a big step.
God, yeah. And now I'm aware of it, and I see the trap in a lot of people that are around me. So the trap of an approach is if you try all these different things. So you can be very manipulative in like, I'll try this, I'll try that. That's kind of deceiving. It's an illusion that that person has to carry all the weight, because the avoidant makes it appear that you have to. So to get out of that is to make the avoidant responsible for their behavior and their feelings.
Or, because you can't really change somebody else, so maybe a way to do it is just choose to stop hoping and stop being responsible for that and just focus on what's good for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like
I noticed
that 6 pillars of self-esteem like applies to approach and avoidance. So one of the things self-esteem is that they're responsible and create their own thoughts and feelings, that a person is responsible for those. And I think with an avoidant, they have learned so many different tactics to avoid their own thoughts and feelings.
This says anxiety, not anger, induces inflammatory activity. It's kind of interesting. I mean, these are all just theories, right? Different books of people doing studies.
Yeah, but a study isn't a theory.
Okay.
Well, they have theories and they do research on it. Yeah.
Right. Like a statement like that is a way of looking at it.
Yeah, I have to think about that. So anxiety is a...
It says that anxiety rather than anger is what induces inflammatory activity. So I think of inflammatory activity as we would be calling it angry behavior, lashing out.
Reactionary.
So what they're saying, so they're putting anger and anxiety as like equals, like two of the same kind of emotion. So they're saying that anxiety is the reason that people, I guess you'd say, get angry, like act out in anger.
That could be, yeah.
So anxiety would be if somebody, so the reason that would be true is because they're anxious that the space is not being filled, right? And that they're not getting...
Well, it's like what you said before, like secondary. I'm not sure if that's what that statement is saying. It sounds like, so anger is a cover, right, for other feelings. So are you trying to make the point that anxiety is one of those undercurrent feelings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. That
I
that
think
anxiety,
100%. 100%. Yeah. So, but if you have, let's break that down then, because we've had lots of experiences, right? So with an avoidant, if they get anxious, what would you... So they
avoidant getting anxious. I don't even know
So they avoid.
In my experience, they don't look anxious. They don't usually act anxiously anxious.
Well, their behavior, if they feel that spike, their behavior would prevent the next step, which is feeling. So their behavior would be to avoid. So they walk away, they hang up the phone, they leave the space, they'll go home, they'll leave, they avoid. If they can't leave the space, you can physically see them shut down. Like if they can't leave, they'll just shut down. Whereas an approach, if they get anxious,
I can't leave. Personally, I have a tough time.
Yeah, I don't leave either.
I have a tough time walking away from conflict. I don't know what I would do with myself. If there's an argument and I'm like, no, and I would walk away, I mean, what would I do next? I can't. Obviously, it's something I would need to work on. But I think that as an approach, if somebody has a heavy preference for approach, walking away or silent treatment, you know how some people get mad and do the silent treatment? You hear about it.
Yeah, that's another avoidant. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you do the silent treatment? That sounds really hard.
Yeah, I had to deal with that for days. Sometimes 3-4 days.
Oh
An
my
avoidant would
gosh.
shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even. That person would be.
Well,
But maybe I'm just not mature. I don't know what to do. It's too.
You know what you would do. We do the same thing. I would I would try all the different arsenals, like paint him into a corner, try to get him on the phone, text him, try all these different communication styles. Yell at him.
I've done things like unplug the internet, like hide all the electronics, throw all the things off the table. I've done stuff like that. I'm like, no, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah. I was trying to think of one of the craziest things I did. Oh, I hid like an iPad or iPod, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Because that was one of the strategies was I'm not going to listen to you, but I'll be on my technology. Yeah. I did that once. Mm-hmm. So he definitely got mad. But It didn't matter. He just went into another room and closed the door and stayed there for the rest of the day and then avoided for 3 more days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It sucks to feel like that.
It's a horrible feeling.
It's horrible. I remember I was like, you know what? Never mind. You know what? I'm done with this. It's fine.
What?
It's fine. It's fine. It's like in an argument. I'm the arguer.
Oh.
Right? You know what? And I'm like, okay, a shut down person. I'm just like, okay, you know what? Doesn't matter. And so I've got a pizza in the oven. And I remember I was just like, nope, it's honestly okay. You don't have to do anything. And I just grabbed the pizza and I just threw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like that it was almost done.
Yeah. It's just,
I felt terrible. Like,
yeah.
Because it makes me such a jackass.
Well, see, that's what they can point to, too. They'll be like, see, if you weren't... It's all a distraction. So an avoidant can... So they don't have to think or feel. They'll use ways to distract. And so we play into that by getting angry or... So this is what happened. We went out the other night and I've been holding space. So I've been not reacting, which sometimes I do. I'm like, of course I would get angry over you treating me this way, but I just didn't do all those manipulative behaviors. So it's been months of this, right? But same triggers, same behavior towards me. And finally, see, we talked about energy, and I thought you made a really good point one day. You said, maybe because the avoidant kind of uses and approaches energy. You know, maybe that's their balancer or something. So you said, what if we changed our energy? Do you remember?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's kind of what I was saying a couple minutes ago when I said, do you think it's our job as the approach person
Yeah.
to take the first, to make it change, to change it?
Yeah, and I've read the only thing you can do is, as long as they keep showing signs that they want to keep improving or change. As long as they're in it. The second they say I'm out, you have to honor that, and they're out.
Yep. Oh,
And
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and that's not what I thought. No way. I would not honor that. I would be super angry. For sure. My old behavior, I would be like so mad. Oh, now you're going to give up. I would have just been pulling out more tools. But just honoring their space and going, okay, you're done. And that's a hard thing to do, because you know that all they have to do is open their mouth. It's like such a simple thing.
Yeah.
But for them, it's super hard.
And it's like both of these tendencies are, they're wounds.
Yeah.
New set of lungs.